Hey, what's up, viewers? Super cool that you guys are watching a new episode of Twins Television again. We have brought in a new tool to loosen our axle, I should say the central nut. And hopefully in this episode we will finally disassemble our gearbox and find out what state our clutch is in. Are you curious? Keep watching. I'm curious. Let's go. Guys, the reason I'm so curious about the state of this clutch is because the gearboxes of the Gallardo are all kind of manual gearboxes with a robotized arm on it. So it's mechanically operated, but it's actually a manual gearbox. There's too much slip in the clutch because it's all electronically controlled. So this is not that modern double clutch. How do you say that? BSG. But this one is really robotized. So it slips too long, and because of that, these clutches wear out much faster than an average other car. So if you drive a lot in city traffic, the clutch also goes mega fast. I think about 30,000, 40,000 kilometers you can do with one set of clutch.
Drive it.
You frequently drive in city traffic, and although it seems like a lot, it's actually not much. This car was reportedly sold at auction with 162 miles, but we believe it's slightly less. Nevertheless, this indicates that the clutch has already been replaced once. It should have been replaced at least once already, or maybe just twice, and then we have a win. Then we won't have to do it anymore, as we also watch a lot on YouTube. You can pull out the plugs at the bottom and inspect the clutch plate yourself. But in this episode, we are going to disassemble the gearbox. But before we get there, we are going to remove the drive shafts first, if it works with the new tools. And we are going to separate the e-gear system that sits on top from a gearbox. And then, if all goes well, we can pull off our box and we have a glory moment and
What's now?
Start by removing the axle shafts and loosening the boxes. It may not be easy, but we're going to do it.
Do it, let's go. Thank you.
Boys, the face mask is back.
Because it has risen again.
I just noticed that when you get close to the block again, there's still so much salt from that fire extinguisher. I immediately get irritated eyes and I immediately taste salt in my mouth. Yes, what's funny is, what immediately strikes me when you put them next to each other is that the right axle that's on the right is actually a lot shorter. So that means your gearbox is more to the right. That's what I see. You actually see now. I didn't even notice it. But it's a bit to the right in the car. Yes, so that's a good point to see that the axle is for the right. Look guys, this is the side that is burned. And of course the case that is damaged. And if it turns out that everything is just fine, mechanically just okay, and the plan goes through, then of course we are going to completely restore this axle. Put new rubbers everywhere, new clamps on, make everything nice and neat. But for now we put them aside. Yes, we have taken a huge step forward indeed. You saw that the small struggle was with the right side. We had to extend it with a tube. They are heavy, those things. But yes, that was still a small struggle. It succeeded. So we are now continuing with the e-gear. Then just a little while longer. The starter motor. Disconnect the wiring, and then we'll see how far we get when we loosen the bolts. Detached the exhaust supports. They were here on both the left and right, and of course we put everything in a bag with a lot of exhaust support, and the bolts from the E-gear top side have also been numbered. And yes, so we actually arrived to remove the shift mechanism, the robotic shift fork or something, right? Yes, indeed. If all goes well, it's now a matter of lifting it off. Wow, hope we can overhaul it. And I actually expect that. This isn't even broken, but check this out, guys. The inside of our gearbox looks so fresh. Completely clean, super clean. Now we'll degrease this completely. We'll neatly tape it off so no filth can get in. Because that could mean a broken gearbox later on, and we don't want that. And then we'll continue with removing the bolts that hold the gearbox to the engine block. And then we'll see if we can separate the gearbox from the engine block. Let's go. Well, coming back to this opening, great cover from us. Yes, we have fabricated something so that nothing gets in, but you see it. It's already doing its job. There's already dust. It goes in here, not into the gearbox, and we have disconnected a mega component here. This is namely the
cart ventilation. The cart ventilation.
Indeed, indeed. So now we have created the space to loosen the gearbox nuts. All around, so to speak, those that keep the box in place. So this is the moment we're going to separate the gearbox from the engine block, right, Don? Yes. But I think you haven't been under the car yet, because I saw a few cables going there. Indeed. And they do things, so I'm going to loosen that first. Okay, well said is done with Skyro. Guys, we've been saying all the time, it's the gearbox loose now, it's still not. We do have the starter motor in our hands. The almighty starter motor of a Volkswagen Touring, if we're not mistaken indeed. He is there, yes. Looks quite battered, a lot of corrosion.
A lot of corrosion.
But we might just be able to save it. So, I'm curious if it works. We've already prepared everything to see if it works.
Well, starter motor test.
It's super simple if correct. Just give him mass. You just turn it on.
And then
Here, have
I relay. So here is actually your plus on, and this one actually controls it. So if you turn your key, then it goes from here.
It starts gassing here. If you give plus here, it should turn. Let's go.
nice indeed.
It's working. Well, that saves us a turn starter motor, so we can just direct this one completely.
Beautiful.
Make this spray a fire extinguisher on the starter motor to fix it. However, the lifespan of a starter motor treated this way is uncertain. But you also don't know that about a Lamborghini that's had a fire extinguisher everywhere?
Has had.
But now that the starter motor is out, we can give you a shot of the internals. It's completely filled with glass and everything. And that's actually because it fell in from above. As you can see, there are openings there, and that's where it all falls in. And it doesn't say anything about the condition of the clutch yet. Because it's a kind of closed system. So hopefully we're going to the box now.
Shine.
I still need to disconnect the bottom hose, so I'll do that first. And then we get to the point where the gearbox can be removed. It looks like a whopper. I don't know if we can lift it with our hands, but we'll figure something out. Let's go! Guys, we got a milk post. The gearbox is loose. However, I have to say, I think later, when everything goes back in the car, that we're going to mount it. That the box is already attached to the engine, and that the engine with the box goes in at the same time. Indeed, because it was a big struggle. As you can see, it was actually against the stabilizer bars, so yes. And also because we don't have a yes thing, is engine taco, so our backs. Monster. And from the inside, yes, actually, just as I expected I would, I get a light. I must say it's full of glass, but we expected that too and this. It also actually all still works. Look at this, guys. Now we still don't know what the clutch is like, so we're going to loosen it. We're going to loosen all the Allen wrenches, take off the clutch, and then we're going to inspect it, guys. I now have the whole, yes, the pressure plate, what's it called, or something. What's this called? We had to do something. Actually, we didn't do it, but this is, say, the pressure plate that presses on the clutch, say, as you press the clutch pedal now comes. When you turn this around and you see ribs on the plate, it means it's already in the right direction. It's an original clutch from a Lamborghini. That looks good. I think so, because you can see the ridges and the holes are not quite even yet. But can I do this? Can't I take it out so I can look at the plate for a moment? Yes, you can. That's possible. You can lift it. Because I do see some rust here on the side, but I don't exactly know how to take this apart. But isn't it that you have to put it back together in a balanced way? That it can only be put together in one way? I have no idea. So you actually want to leave it like this? Have.
You done more research?
I actually want to draw a line. And then you know it has to be put back together like this. Then
We draw a
line just like this. I say, well, this is how it should be put back together. Does the clutch not need to be balanced? No, because this is now, you attach it to each other, so you could now separate this from each other. It's rusted shut. I need to research further on how to disassemble this properly, as I'm unsure how to proceed at this point. Looks so positive.
Yes, this looks
Good indeed. Just the rust is a bit of a concern for me. But if it's completely scraped off and cleaned up, I think this is just a bit of salt. With the yes of those powder extinguishers, just so this does look quite positive. And I have to say, I don't see any major leak traces here, of course. We're going to loosen this up, sand it down a bit, because this is where your central seal of your crankshaft is, I believe. And if that often leaks, it's a huge cost. Usually when you replace a clutch, you also check the seal. And that's of course what we're going to do. But the block is also coming out. There's still a lot going to happen. What? Milestone then. Yes, we have been busy from early morning until now. It's 3:30. I'm actually completely broken, man. I must say we have really worked hard. I am to not normal. The gearbox at the rear looks just fine. From inside, from outside, it doesn't look so neat. But that's with you, Cosmetic. The clutch are going to do a little more research on how it should be taken apart. Maybe you can't even take it apart, but I don't know that. And do you have knowledge of clutches? Let me know if you can see that, or this is a good plate or not too.
My idea is yes.
Good to my idea too. So if I had to put the gearbox back, I would not replace the clutch. I also wouldn't, that I would definitely.
With our
Knowledge, yes, but what a milestone, guys. So glad that this is all actually going. Well, it fits. Well, wall tight. We still have to replace a few things, just like, you know, these hex bolts. We want to replace all of them, of course, because they are just broken by someone else who has worked on that car.
that the
Has replaced the clutch, I think possibly has turned. Wants to see there is a sticker on the clutch. So cut what is actually all on it. Is there a date on it by any chance? E-Gear Vallejo clutch. I am so satisfied. It just takes a load off my shoulders again. And with this positive time, we end this episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We always find it so fun to work on these types of cars. And we learn with every time that
Tinker with these cars.
it's just really a fun car to tinker with. But for now, do it dope. Thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. We love you all. See you next Friday with a new episode. Until then, ciao.